Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Let us continue with our tafsir of Surah Aal-Imraan bihawlillahi wa quwwatih, and we are on ayah number 81. قال الله تعالى وَإِذْ أَخَذَ اللَّهُ مِيثَاقَ النَّبِيِّينَ لَمَا آتَيْتُكُم مِّن كِتَابٍ وَحِكْمَةٍ ثُمَّ جَاءَكُمْ رسول مصدق لما معكم لتؤمنن به ولتنصرنه قال أأقررتم وأخذتم على ذلكم إصري قالوا أقررنا قال فاشهدوا وأنا معكم من الشاهدين. The word mithaq here means a covenant. It has the root letters wathaqa yathiqu bishay, which means to trust someone. So a mithaq is a covenant because you have to trust the other person. Here Allah Jalla wa Ala tells us that He took a covenant with the prophets, as in all the prophets. So He says mithaq an-nabiyyin, the covenant of the prophets. Then He says lama. The letter lam, they say it is lamul ibtida. Ibtida means beginning. So this lam begins a new sentence. It does not have a meaning in and of itself, such that it can be translated. Then we have ma, the mim alif. This is ism mawsul, meaning alladhi, meaning that which. So that which ataytukum, I give you. Again, notice the iltifat. He says أخذ الله, Allah took, that's a third person, and then he says آتيتكم, I give you, that's a first person singular. So from third person to first person, iltifat, it freshens up the sentence. So that which I give you from the kitab, from the book, as in from the scripture, so this could be Tawrah, Zabur, Injil, or any other scripture for that matter. Wa hikmah, and the hikmah, wisdom, this means the correct understanding of the scripture, because you could have the scripture and not understand anything of it. This is no good. You need to have the hikmah, the understanding of the scripture, and to be able to apply it in real life in terms of practicing in accordance with it and judging in accordance with the scripture. So what I give you of the book and the scripture, take it and accept it. Now the words take it or accept it are not explicitly stated in the ayah, but they are implied because it is understood as such. So take this book and the scripture. Thumma, and then ja'akum, there comes to you rasulun, a messenger, musaddiqun lima ma'akum, testifying to that which is with you. La tu'minunna bihi, you will surely believe in him, meaning have iman in him. Wa la tansurunna, and you will surely help him. From nasara yansuru, to aid or to help someone. Now notice the word لَتُؤْمِنُنَّ bihi. Where did this come from? Originally it was meant to be tu'minun. That is the original verb. Tu'minun, you believe. But then what happens is that the noon shadda is added to the end of that word for emphasis. So from you believe, it will be you absolutely will believe. There is emphasis, and the emphasis is denoted by the noon shadda at the end. So if we write the noon shadda at the end, it would then read tu'minunan. But because now there are two noons, one of the noon, the first one, is mahdhuf. It is wiped out because we do not want two letters right next to each other. And the other thing which happens is that the waw is also mahdhuf. It becomes wiped out, because if you look at the word tu'minunan, the noon and the waw are both sakin. They have a sukoon on top of them. And in the Arabic language, when we have iltiqa'us sakinain, two letters with the sukoon that comes together, one of the letters often becomes wiped out. So the waw becomes wiped out and it gets turned into a dhamma, which is what you see on the penultimate noon of the verb. So then it reads tu'minunna. The dhamma on that noon was originally a waw, the waw al-jama'ah. As for the lam at the beginning, la tu'minunna, this is for emphasis. It's a lam al-qasam. It's like saying, wallahi, you will surely believe in him. So he's taking an oath against the people. You will surely believe in this upcoming messenger. And we may say the same thing about wala tansurunna. It should have been tansurunanna, but then the two noons come together. The first noon is mahdhuf. The waw also becomes mahdhuf and turns into a dhamma. You can see the dhamma on the ra. The ha at the end means him. It is the maf'ul bihi. The lam at the beginning is for the lam al-qasam. Wallahi, you will surely help him. Qala, Allah said to them, أَأَقْرَرْتُمْ, do you make iqrar, meaning do you acknowledge this? So iqrar is when you say yes, this is true, when you acknowledge something, or you say yes, I accept such and such a thing. وَأَخَذْتُمْ, and you take عَلَى ذَلِكُمْ, upon this contract, isri. Isr is a word we have come across before. You might remember in Surah Al-Baqarah, وَلَا تَحْمِلْ عَلَيْنَا إِسْرًا كَمَا حَمَلْتَهُ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِنَا. Do not burden upon us an isr, which you did to those before us. An isr means a heavy load or a heavy burden. Here, the word isr refers to the actual contract itself, because this is a heavy burden. It is not an ordinary contract. Rather, your salvation in the eternal afterlife depends on this contract. That's how heavy it is. The word dhalikum, you see the kaf and the mim denoting plural, is such because Allah Jalla wa Ala is speaking to a plural number of people, so you can say dhalikum. You can also say dhalika, but the kaf by itself denotes a single person you're speaking to. Both are permissible. Qalu, the Prophet said, Aqrarna, yes, we make iqrar. Qala, Allah said, Fashhadu, then bear witness, O you prophets, wa ana ma'akum min ash-shahidin, and I am also a witness with you. So you and I are both witnesses that we have accepted this contract. Okay, so going back to this ayah, we have a situation of a contract being made and agreed to or ratified. So what is this contract all about? Well, Allah Jalla wa Ala has taken a contract with all the prophets, saying to them that after I have given you the book and the hikmah, and then you accept the book and the hikmah, then thereafter there comes a Rasul, a messenger, who makes tasdeeq with what is with you of the scripture. Now, who is this messenger? There are two opinions. The first opinion says that it is the next upcoming messenger. So for Musa, it would be Isa, and for Isa, it would be Muhammad, alayhi salatu wassalam. So this next messenger who comes will believe in what you have, meaning the next messenger will say that yes, the previous scripture is the truth and it is from Allah. So this is one way of understanding the word musaddiq. There is another way of understanding this word, which is misdaq, a confirmation. So this means that the scripture would have the description of an upcoming prophet, the next prophet or messenger. When that prophet actually arrives, he has confirmed the scripture, and so therefore you are to believe in the next messenger. The second opinion on this matter says that this word Rasul specifically refers to Muhammad ﷺ, in that he was mentioned then in every single scripture that he is to appear. And all the prophets had to take a contract that if such a messenger were to appear in their lifetime, they would follow him and help him. If he does not appear in their lifetime, then these prophets are to tell their followers that if such a prophet appears in their lifetime, meaning the followers' lifetime, that they would believe in him and help him. In any case, this ayah definitely applies to the last prophet, because the last prophet came and he acknowledged that the Torah and the Injil and Zabur, all of these scriptures and others besides, are the truth and are from Allah Jalla wa Ala in their original revelation. Not only that, but he's also described in the previous scriptures, and his advent is then therefore a confirmation of the previous scriptures. If we read, for example, in ayah number 157 of Surah Al-A'raf, we find it clearly states that he is written in the Torah and the Injil. His description and also what he's going to do. He's going to enjoin the good and forbid the evil. He will make halal all that which is tayyibat, and he will make haram all that which is the khaba'ith, the impure, unhealthy things. And this is the exact description of the last prophet. So then how is it that the Ahlul Kitab are rejecting him? In rejecting the last prophet, they are in fact rejecting their own scriptures. So reflecting on this ayah, we take the massive lesson that whether we take the word Rasul to be general or specific to the last prophet, it makes ultimately no difference. The Ahlul Kitab are obligated to believe in the last prophet. And this is what their own prophets, Musa alayhi salam or Isa alayhi salam, would have done and ordered their followers to do. We take that taking a contract is from the attributes of Allah Jalla wa Ala. He can take contracts with people and with prophets. He can make contracts with them by way of mutual consent. We may also reflect on this status of prophethood. They connect all the believers of mankind together. They are like this button which joins the right hand side of your coat to the left hand side when you button up. If you remove the button, then the right hand side of your coat or jacket will split apart from the left hand side of your coat or jacket. The prophets are holding the believers together. So these nations are not just independent nations who have nothing to do with each other. No, they are linked. They are linked and connected and related by way of prophets, just like you and your brother. How are you related? Through at least one parent. If you remove that parent, then you and your quote-unquote brother would have nothing to do with each other. You would not be related. So in this same way, prophets are linking and relating all the believers together. So we are not just independent nations who have got nothing to do with each other. No, we are all linked. And this is the effect of prophethood on all of the believers of mankind. Just reflect on this. It is extraordinary. Let's take ayah 82. فَمَنْ تَوَلَّى بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ فَأُولَئِكَ هُمْ الْفَاسِقُونَ. Tawalla meaning turns away. So that is to say, the one who reneges on this contract. بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ meaning after having ratified the contract. فَأُولَئِكَ then those people, they are the fasiqun. Now fisq literally means to leave something. In this context, it means to leave the fold of obedience to Allah Jalla wa Ala. However, a Muslim can be a fasiq if he is a sinner, but a kafir is also a fasiq because the greatest sin is kufr. So a kafir is a fasiq, full stop. As for a Muslim, he can be a fasiq. Which type of fisq is this ayah referring to? Well, let's look at the context. The context is about believing in the messengers. So which means if you do not believe in the messengers, what does that make you? A Muslim? No, it makes you a kafir outside the fold of al-Islam. So the fasiq in this ayah is a kafir. So reflecting on this ayah, we find the immense danger of going back on your word when you make a contract with anyone, but especially with Allah Jalla wa Ala, because the consequences are dire. And we find that anyone who does go back on his contract is a fasiq, and that is not a title that we want associated with ourselves. We have ayah 83. أَفَغَيْرَ دِينِ اللَّهِ يَبْغُونَ وَلَهُ أَسْلَمَ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ طَوْعًا وَكَرْهًا وَإِلَيْهِ يُرْجَعُونَ. It begins by saying أَفَغَيْرَ اللَّهِ Originally it should have been fa غير الله. The fa should come first, but it's been swapped around. And this is because the sentence wants to begin with a question form. The fa often is used as a harf al-atf, meaning it follows on from what is previous to it, but in this case it is likely to be harf isti'naf, which is a letter which gives rise to a new sentence. Ghayr meaning other than. So is it other than the deen of Allah? That is of course Islam. The word deen means kullu ma yultazamu bihi, everything which one adheres to. So it's a complete lifestyle and a belief system. Yabghuna, from bagha yabghi baghyan, to seek or to desire. So do they desire other than the deen of Allah? Walahu aslama, and to him aslama, submits or surrenders, all that which is in the heavens and the earth. So this means from humans and animals and even plants, just all things really. Taw'an aw karha. Taw'an means out of obedience, so willingly. Ta'a yatu'u means to obey someone. Karhan, kariha yakrahu, to hate something. So karhan meaning unwillingly. So for example, even the kafir during his death is going to believe in Allah Jalla wa Ala when he sees the angels and so on. Not that it would do him any good, but he will still believe. Note, taw'an and karhan are both mansub al-fatha. Why is this? It is a hal which is going to be mansub. It is the hal of the word man, meaning the one. وَإِلَيْهِ يُرْجَعُونَ, and to him they shall return. So all the jinn and mankind will return to Allah. And this is of course referring to Yawm al-Qiyamah. In some other qira'at, it is recited وَإِلَيْهِ تُرْجَعُونَ, and to him you will return. And of course both qira'at are authentic, and they complement each other. So you will return to him and they will return to him. So it increases the whole recitation in meaning. And according to the weightier opinion, it is permissible to mix and match the recitations. So you begin reciting the ayah according to one recitation, and you end the ayah according to a second recitation. That is permissible, because it is all the Quran authentically. So for example, you begin the ayah with a warsh recitation, and halfway through you change to a hafs recitation, or vice versa. The only issue would be that if people listen to you doing this, they might become confused, and confusion can create arguments and so on. So bear that in mind, but in principle at least, it is permissible. Okay, so reflecting on this ayah, we take that anyone who seeks and desires a deen other than that which Allah has institutionalized is rebuke-worthy, and that this ayah applies to them. We also find the irrational nature of rejecting the deen of Allah, in that you're rejecting Allah's deen, and yet everything in the heavens and the earth submit to Allah. So if that's the case, it only makes sense for you to be on the side of Allah rather than being against Allah by choosing another deen of kufr. And the fact that everything submits to Allah tells you that Allah alone is the true Rabb. So how then can you seek a Rabb other than Allah? Also note that it has been narrated from Abdullah ibn Abbas that they said if anyone's animal is being stubborn, then they should recite into the ear of the animal this ayah, أَفَغَيْرَ دِينِ اللَّهِ, up to the end, because this ayah has this idea of the creation being submissive to Allah. Now, we do not know how authentic this narration is. However, we would like to talk about a broader point. You find nowadays, particularly in the subcontinent, people are absolutely infatuated with making claims of this nature. So they would say things like, if you want such and such done, recite such and such an ayah or such and such a dhikr this many times, and your desire will be fulfilled. This generally is all nonsense. Why? Because to make such a claim you require authentic evidence. If you have authentic evidence, then fine, you can work with it, no problem. But the problem is that these people are making baseless claims which need to be exposed, because no doubt there will be many ignorant people who will be fooled by such claims, because these claims will give them easy and quick fixes, and that's what people want. They want easy and quick fixes. But real life is not about quick fixes. Most of the time you have to work hard to achieve what you want. So beware of these claims. They are prominent, and you must warn people against such claims. هذا والله أعلم.